Hello everyone, welcome back to another video of Arun Up Codes, and this is Arun Agrawal right here. And in today's video, I'm going to be talking about how I almost quit competitive coding because of one topic, and the topic is, drum rolls please, greedy and ad hoc problems to be specific. So in today's video, I'm going to be explaining you guys how I almost quit coding because of that, and also I'll be sharing some steps which I'm currently taking to improve that topic a bit. Alright, so let's begin. Alright, people. To now begin, I'm going to first show you my roadmap which I was following for my preparation of INOI. Alright. So as you can see, this is my roadmap right here. And up to these topics, I did completely fine. But here and here was where I got stuck, which was sorting and time complexity. Now, you might be thinking that these topics are a bit hard. And well, of course, they are. But the problem with them was that they had greedy mixed in them, or ad hoc solutions mixed in them. And then I soon realized that the pattern of implementing algorithms on their own is called greedy. So I researched more and more upon that, and I found out that you are supposed to solve problems uh, greedily by using proofs and greedy theory. And while I do not completely understand it myself, but yeah, I did not really use that, and I realized that these problems were actually meant to be solved by greedy problems. All right. So another problems that I had were no upsolving, which is basically like solving old problems which you couldn't solve the next time when you have read the solution and when you understand the solution. And another problem that I had was the problems of greedy which were mixed with other topics, as I mentioned with you guys. And well, how did I realize it? It took me 2 weeks. Yeah, I used to wake up for 2 weeks every day and solve problems in this roadmap, and I used to think that I was dumb just because I couldn't solve these problems. But the main problem was actually that these problems were meant to be used by greedy, and I could not do greedy properly from the basic. So that was a learning gap I had. All right. So how did I fix it? Well, for starters, I actually talked on a Discord server about this, which was, I think, Next Gen Programmers. I would mention the link below, invite to it. Huge shout out to them. They actually first put the thought of code forces on my mind. All right. And then I also had a talk with ChatGPT about this. And well, ChatGPT again mentioned that I needed to do upsolving, and I also needed to do code forces to use greedy from the basics. All right. So that's pretty much what I did. So if I show you correctly, if I can show you, as you can see, this is basically just the time when I'm solving the problems, and this is the URL of the problem. It's actually glitched, I think, so it shows both of them shows up at timestamps, but it's actually supposed to be the URL. And another thing that is like part of this is basically just this form. So this form is just a way to make entries to this, and also I've started using this upsolve tracker like daily. Like whenever I solve problem, the next time I like entry the problems in the upsolve tracker. Another thing that I have started using is Miro. So if I can open that up right here, as you can see, Miro is actually basically a whiteboarding app. Now it might not seem like much to you, but actually using a whiteboarding app has really helped me visualize the problems. Like this is right here. If I can mark, yeah, this right here was a problem that I was solving there yesterday, and as you can see, I have been able to draw properly here. Now, of course, I can use a pen and paper, but using a pen tab or a digital drawing actually is better because you have unlimited paper and you can erase stuff. So that there are clear advantages of that. And another thing that I also started doing is using code forces, and but and these are the problems which I've done in code forces, as you can see. And these problems are the ones which I've done in practice. And also, I have started using a VS Code and competitive programming companion, which if I can open Visual Studio Code here. Yes, as you can see, this is the Visual Studio Code, and I've actually started using this as my only way to program stuff. Like before I used to submit in the code forces panel here. So if I open up a sample problem, okay, so it's taking a bit of a time, I believe. Alright, people. Now that it's finally loaded, I can show you some problems which I've done in them and how I am submitting to them. Like this is a problem which I solved recently. It's a pretty easy one, I would say. And what I did was basically I just clicked on install this extension, use this plus icon here, and it will automatically create a new file for me in my folder. And then I can use that file to submit the code, and also I can test this test cases here itself. So that actually makes the job a lot easier than using the code forces one. And of course, did not mention my actual code forces problem set. So to get the problems, I'm basically like using this right here. I can visualize it correctly. I started using this, which is the filter tool. So I started using the greedy part here, and I also started using difficulty here. So for now, I'm only going to do 800 to 1000 because that's the lowest difficulty, and I also need to work on the basics, as I said, of greedy. Okay. All right, people. So that was it for this week's video. I hope you enjoyed this one. If you did, please do like, share, and subscribe. And also, I really and really appreciate the love on my last video. I got 200 views something, and which were definitely a certain goal of mine, which I clearly did not expect to reach. All right, people. So that would be it. There would be more and more content coming in the pipeline. But yeah, thank you.